trying this again. We just got done eating. If you are just tuning in and you're wondering, one, why is Eric Levine on Banning Sweatland's LinkedIn account? Well, Banning got me signed into his account because what we learned with these live events is that we can only connect one LinkedIn account at a time unless you have somebody on a different computer. So I decided to put my LinkedIn to rest and put Banning's LinkedIn on because he's got 30,000 followers where I've only got 5,000. So the numbers made sense. Went with Banning's. Banning will be speaking tonight. If you're wondering, what is this event? What are we looking at? We're looking at the National Law Enforcement Officer Hall of Fame being hosted here in Fort Worth. And because I'm friends with Banning, Banning was like, hey, Levine, love the podcast. I'm on all the time. What if I got you into the National Law Enforcement Officer Hall of Fame and you could do a live from there? And I was like, you know what? Let's try it. And that's what we're doing. I have had very inconsistent Wi-Fi. I've had trouble with setting up cameras. I've had to switch camera views. I have learned more just trying to do this one live in the span of 30 minutes than I've probably learned in doing this podcast for the last 3 years. So if you are tuning in and you're trying to see what's going on, I'm trying to see what's going on too. So I appreciate you guys jumping on. What we're going to be covering is the Hall of Fame. As people show up here, I'm going to wave them over, kind of give them a chance to speak over here, explain why they're here, what they're doing, and all that good stuff. So what I don't know is how bad is the sound feedback that you're getting from the crowd and all of that stuff. I'm assuming it's kind of loud, but I'm doing my best, and I hope it's coming across all right. I need to put the chat feature up here. If you are on, say hello. There we go. Making sure all my stuff's going out. For whatever reason, I am not showing that I am connected to LinkedIn. So if it's on there, let me know. Speak of the devil, we got Banning Sweatland on his way over here right now, sir.
Actually, you're going to have somebody better than me.
Oh, a little bit higher up on the food chain.
I hope everybody's doing good. I'm going to have Sheriff Bill Wayburn sit here and let everybody know what he's doing here tonight.
All right, sounds good. Come on over, Sheriff. Have a seat. Pop a squat.
Thank you.
See, it's one thing about sheriffs is they're not PC. They speak their mind, and they know how to talk to people. I love them. So how are you doing, Sheriff?
Doing fabulous. How are you doing this evening?
Doing great. Thank you for hosting the Hall of Fame here in Fort Worth with the Tarrant County Sheriff. Bill Wayburn, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He is a pillar of Fort Worth, and he's doing great things out here. So, sir, with this Hall of Fame, can you kind of explain what it is and what you're doing here?
Absolutely. What a wonderful night. One is the National Hall of Fame for Law Enforcement is right here in Fort Worth, Texas, in Tarrant County, and we're shining lights on heroes.
Absolutely.
We're the men and women of law enforcement across the nation who have done incredible things and put their lives on the line, and we're going to hear stories tonight about peace officers getting shot 7 and 8 and 9 times and getting up and getting back in the fight and doing those kind of things. But these are people that help our community out every day. They have a helping hand out. They're servants, true servants.
I love it. And it's always good when it's different at my level in law enforcement to reach out to your companions and like, hey man, you did a badass job. That was great. I'm glad you're still here with us, all of that. But it's completely different when you have the backing of somebody that runs the department, runs the whatever, recognizes people from outside the city. I mean, that says a lot. I think it shows a lot of appreciation in a career field where we're not getting much appreciation anymore.
We're really law enforcement's taking a beating.
Yes.
And, tonight is that we need to take every opportunity to illuminate the incredible men and women who do this, who rise to that nobility every day and stand between good and evil.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it attests to they're not out here for a paycheck, because I don't know anybody that's going to run at bullets
No.
for any amount of money.
That is it. If you're gonna get rich, this is not the place to do it, right?
Yeah.
So these people that get into this because they're called to it. It's a calling.
I agree, sir. Well, I don't want to tie your time up too much. Is there any other messages that you want to get out there in Tarrant County?
Well, people of Texas and across the nation, heroes that are not in Hollywood, but they're made out on the street in the middle of the night while they're resting. You're resting easy, and continue to rest easy, because across this country, great men and women are out there doing their duty to make sure that America stays safe every day,
Especially in Texas.
especially in Texas.
God bless Texas. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Eric. Y'all
Thank
have a good night.
Thank
Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. There first, the sheriff coming on, dropping some words of wisdom, proving why he is a sheriff, and not just kissing his butt. I really love Sheriff Wayburn. He's a really good guy. I actually met him when he first took his position, and one of the first things he wanted to do was see how officers were training all across Texas. I was an instructor at the time, and he came in and literally was like, I was an officer, and he was like, I want to talk to you. You're the people I want to talk to. I want to know what your opinion is. And for a leader over, as many as deputies as he's over, to come in and ask me as a lowly street officer, who was an instructor at the time, what my opinion was, it was a big deal to me, and showed me he was really trying to get to the bottom level and see what he could do to improve things now that he was stepping in. And he did that because, shoot, we're talking over 6-7 years ago now, and he's still going strong. So it was very cool. I am hoping that we are live on Banning's LinkedIn channel. So if you are on Banning's LinkedIn channel, please give a little shout out. He's actually coming over and been asking me, hey, did we get on there? Can people hear what's going on? Do you guys know what's going on? Oh, man, I almost had a panic moment. I thought that I had that second mic muted for that. I would have been so mad if the sheriff came over here and talked, because he's the man of the hour tonight. He's going to be doing speeches, and I think he's basically the MC over here tonight. So see how that goes. He brought in his, which you guys got to see on the little first part that we did. He brought in the honor guard from Tarrant County. They did phenomenal. Had the national anthem come over. It looks like Banning's bringing me more guests. Come on over here. Come on over here, brother. I'm everywhere, brother. I'm living the dream, sir. Just over here, killing it.
I can't. First of all, I can't see crap. I didn't even know it was you.
I know you can't get away from me. You can't escape me.
No, not at all. Not that I want to, but I can't.
If we can only get a New York guy to wear a cowboy hat in Texas.
If you know what, if I could find one to fit my peanut head, I would.
I don't have
I'd wear one. I love the look.
I wear a 6 7/8 fitted hat.
Yeah, I'm
a small
probably
head.
right
Yeah,
around there.
Yeah. So, well, we are here at National Law Enforcement Officer Hall of Fame, and it looks like we got guests all the way out here from New York, podcasters at that, and former NYPD. How you doing, brother?
All right.
Oh, you want to give a little introduction to the people, let them know why you're here, and let's prop up gold shields.
We can do that.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Tom Smith, from retired NYPD detective, and honored beyond words to be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award tonight.
You're receiving an award?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they don't have very high standards out here, guys. This is my first event.
No, and then to top it off, Danny puts me in for it. So what's that? And he has to give a speech tonight to induct me. So
really? That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I can't attest that it's very well awarded, like he deserves it. But I can tell you from the short time that I've known you, you have been out there doing great things, trying to get involved with improving law enforcement training.
Yeah.
And also trying to connect through your podcast and get other officers' voices and stuff like that out there. So just in that short time, what have we known each other, 6-7 months?
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah,
yep.
right around there. Yep. So I'm a lifetime award.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
You must be a bigger deal than I knew.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Danny says.
Okay.
We'll put it in context once Danny's done giving his speech. But you know what? Like I said, it was a surprise. It was a shock. But it's an incredible honor, because when you get told of something like that, it's not something you think about when you go into law enforcement.
Right.
You know, you just do your job, you do the best that you can, and then you get rewarded with something like this out of the blue, and like 30 years of memories kind of fill in your head in 1 second.
Yeah.
And realize, wow, how big a deal this is.
How long have you been out of the job?
4 years.
So 4 years. What's got to be pretty cool about being out of the job 4 years is your service is still being recognized.
Yeah, and that is what makes it even more special.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? And Gold Shields, I think, has a lot to do with that.
Okay.
Because, you know, the reason for starting it was basically what we're doing here tonight. You know, to bring attention to such great work that men and women in law enforcement are doing every single day that no one knows about.
Right.
You know, and to get those stories out to our platform or other platforms to make something like this even more recognizable is what's important.
Yeah, because it's hard when you do something like this. The people that are going to be honored, you're going to hear the story real quick, maybe see a video, hear the audio of the call, but what do you really know about the officer?
Right.
You don't really get a chance to know that person and understand they'll continue to move forward while everybody ran away, or why they continued to keep doing the job despite major injury.
Right.
So that is what I like about, especially with your podcast. Something I try to do is we're trying, you and I, we're trying to give a voice back to officers that they don't get to talk.
No, they don't. And not enough people even know about it. And that was a big part of the creation of Gold Shields.
Yeah.
And one of the stipulations that Dan and I always said from the beginning, that we weren't going to tell someone else's story. We were going to have the people who actually did it and went through those traumatic events tell their own story.
Right.
And a lot of times when we do it, you know, and you've listened to it, he was shot 8 times.
There's Kimber, if you can see it on the screen.
She got shot 8 times.
That's more than 50 Cent.
8 times. Face, her stomach, her knee, her shin, her ankle, foot. Then pursued the car that the perp was in on one foot until she couldn't do it anymore and collapsed.
Cow.
And the day after she was on our show, we nominated her to get in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, dang.
We started the paperwork to get her nominated the day after we spoke to her on the show.
Oh,
that's how impactful she was. And she's here tonight. She's actually sitting at my table, getting in tonight as well.
Okay,
so
excellent.
That's a big deal.
Well, shoot, when you get done here, send her over.
I will go get
her
her
on here.
without a doubt.
But no, well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
I'm definitely proud of you for getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, even though it was insider information. That shouldn't count. Danny shouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah. And you know what? The funny part, to keep something a secret for that long is a big deal. Especially
you didn't know at all?
I had no idea.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
That's even better.
Here's what happened real quick. Megan and Adam and Danny had called me in January to tell me that Kimber, who was our recommendation and nominee got in. So I was thrilled. Then all of a sudden, in the middle of that phone call, they told me about me, and I didn't even hear them.
Really?
All of a sudden, I heard my name, and I went, "Wait, why are you talking about me?" And Maggie goes, "Did you just hear a word I just said?" I'm like, "No." So she had to repeat it that I actually was getting in as well.
Oh, that's
and I
awesome.
didn't know what to say.
So how long did you know before you had to come here?
January,
Oh, so you knew at the beginning of the year? Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good. You had a little time to prepare.
a little bit to prepare.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
see how it goes.
Well, I look forward. You got to speak?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to be making noises back here.
Yeah, I know you will.
Okay.
That's okay. I don't
Yeah.
expect anything different.
Yeah, may give you a show.
New York sucks.
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
You know, something will come out.
Screw Derek Jeter.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. So, well, all right, brother. I appreciate you stopping by, and I am going to make sure all of my sound stuff is working because my wife said it sounds good for being live.
Okay.
Dude,
Sounds good.
this as a podcaster, he'll appreciate. I had no idea what I was doing here.
Oh, dude, I get it.
And trying to set all this up has been a absolute nightmare.
I could imagine.
The Wi-Fi is terrible.
Better you than me.
I know. I've lost connection like 4 times, but every time I've been live, we've been okay.
Okay.
So
Fantastic.
see how it goes.
And I will get Kimber over here. You need to talk to her. Really.
Oh, excellent.
I will let her know.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, pal.
Have fun and congrats.
I appreciate it. Thank you
Take it
very
easy, man.
much.
All right, guys. We're going to keep going. We got both screens going. When you get a chance to, oh, my wife said something. When you change to one camera, the sound goes away. When you change to one camera, the sound goes away? Really? Interesting. Let me check the sound here. Test, test, test. We'll wait. Yeah. Thank you very much. We had Kimber come over here. She was ready to do it. This guy's standing right in front of my camera. Okay, so my wife said, keep the sound, keep both cameras up, basically. Gotcha, honey. See, my wife's always looking out for me. Is that I know that this week as people are finishing up spring break in Texas, I don't know about across the country and starting back to school and that kind of thing. It reminds me of that typical story as we start back to school, as you imagine that mom down cooking dinner or breakfast rather and hollering up and said, "Son, get up, it's time to go to school." I ran into the mic. Downstairs, Mom, I don't want to go to school today. Those kids down there, they don't like me. They treat me bad and they bully me. She continues cooking for a few minutes and hollers back up the stairs and says, "Son, it's time to get ready to go to school." He says, "But Mom, I don't want to go to school. The teachers down there don't care for me at all. In fact, I know what they're talking about. They're talking about me." A few minutes go by and she hollers back upstairs and she says, "Son, for God's sakes, get up and get dressed for school. You're the principal." And often, as I think of the gloomy world that sometimes that we live in and the tragedy that surrounds us, a lot of times, sometimes it's just better to stay in bed and let the day pass. But you don't. You get up and you meet the challenges. You see, because law enforcement, when you're called, it's hope of coming. And you give the sparkle of hope to crisis, you give the sparkle of hope to tragedy, you give the sparkle of hope to people who seemingly lost everything. And I will tell you that as we do that, and that's why we're here tonight, is to illuminate the people who gave this country hope. These heroes that walk among us, and the people that need to be talked about, remembered, never forgotten, is what we're here to do tonight. And any time that we can illuminate law enforcement,
The great men and women of this noble career, I am all for it. And each of our jobs is to do that. Because I know you don't stay in bed and cover up your head. You go out and you meet the challenge of the day. You run to the fight. And you don't stop until it's finished. That's what law enforcement does. You know, it's Mark Twain that once said that if everybody is satisfied, we can no longer have heroes. And I shout out to you tonight, American law enforcement is not satisfied. And there will be many heroes that walk among us, and many of them are in this room. And it is my pleasure to be your MC for the evening. And thank you again for being here and making time. And on behalf of the board, the co-founders, Adam Davenport, Magnum Stockberger, thank you all for being here tonight. And to quote them, even if you are not receiving an award tonight, each and every one of you deserves an award. If you are a sponsor or part of the community, the family members or friends, you are here to show your support for the men and women who risk and sometimes tragically sacrifice their lives to protect the communities in which they police, and for their families and loved ones, the support for them that they do is absolutely incredible. And that support from family is the cornerstone of success of law enforcement. Please, by the way, look at your program, and you can do the QR code there to see about our amazing sponsors tonight. If you run across those sponsors out there on our tables, please thank them and appreciate them as well, because all of this is came together as we honor people tonight because of the sponsorships. Thank you again for sponsoring it. Thank you all. Now, let's get started with tonight's incredible presentations, and I would like to welcome my friend, fellow Texas Peace Officer, Benny Swetland, to present our first of our civilian awards. Thank you.
Looks like we got banning coming up.
I hope everybody's having a good time as I am. And another round of applause for Megan and Adam for what they've done here. The man that I'm about to bring up here, some of you know him, some of you may not. After tonight, I'm sure you'll Google him and look him up on LinkedIn and Facebook. He is truly a supporter for what we're doing out here, day in and day out. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor to stand before you today to celebrate the remarkable achievements of an individual whose dedication to law enforcement transcends the boundaries of a conventional service. A man whose journey has been marked by unwavering commitment, profound patriotism, and unyielding spirit, and stands as a beacon of inspiration for us all. Today we gather to induct Kyle Reyes into the National Law Enforcement Officer Hall of Fame, not for his service as an officer, but for his unparalleled contributions as a civilian advocate for those who wear the badge with honor and pride. And so we've asked Reyes, who sort of kind of sucks at receiving these type of awards, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and come on up here to speak for a bit and set the tone for tonight. Congratulations, Kyle, on this well-deserved honor for civilian service to the Law Enforcement Award.
I don't think I could have written a better eulogy for myself. Thank you. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't belong up here on this stage because I'm not one of the many, many giants that are in this room. I'm not a hero. I'm a dude with a big mouth who likes to run it. We've got a big audience that we are trying to use to bring support to the law enforcement community, to pay honor to God for all of the blessings that we have, and to ask for his protection over the men and women who serve and protect. But I feel like it's most appropriate for me to acknowledge here for a couple of minutes the southern hospitality of Texas. So I roll into this state, and we've been spending quite a bit of time on the border, and I call up Banning, and I said, Banning, man, I've known you for a really long time. I need a good barbecue restaurant. And he goes, man, I got a great barbecue restaurant for you. What I don't think Banning said was, Reyes, you need to lose about 10 pounds, so I'm going to send you to a place that's giving you food poisoning. So, Banning, thank you for that. Hopefully I feel a little bit better in this outfit today. Then I walk out here, and I'm feeling, pretty spiffy. And the first 10 comments that I get were, hey, nice Crocodile Dundee hat you got going on there. Followed by, I'm excited about these boots, right? My tribute to Texas, my Texas boots. Thank you. I know he's not from Texas, everybody clapping, because everybody else is like, yo, dude, Texas boots. Like, nobody actually wears Texas boots. So then everyone saw the belt buckle, we the people, and I was told, man, I remember my first $10 Walmart belt buckle. And then I got the whole, man, we love your vest and your tuxedo. Like, what is this, your high school prom? So thank you all for your southern hospitality. Very, very grateful. Today's not about me, it's about every single one of you. It's about the services and sacrifices that every single one of you have made. And as a dude who's married out of my league with 4 little girls, I gotta tell you, behind every great man out here is a better woman and a better family. And for every single officer that puts on that uniform every single day and kisses their loved ones goodbye and goes out into, let's call it what it is a battle these days, that is going into war in the streets of America, not knowing if they will return. It's easy for us to sit here and acknowledge them right now, right? Their sacrifices. But behind every single man and woman doing that is a loved one. It's their spouse. It's the woman or the man that's holding down the fort. It's the kids who didn't get a say in this. It is their sacrifices as well that tonight we have to honor. A couple of other shout outs. So at Law Enforcement Today, which is part of the 1776 Project, we also own Blue Lives Matter and the Police Tribune and a number of other platforms. Because I'm not a cop, I wanted to make sure that moving forward, we truly represented the voice of law enforcement. And so we put together a board of advisors that's the heads of the largest police groups and support organizations in the country. I've got a couple of my advisors in this audience right now, Vaughn from Force Science. We've got Aaron Slater from Relentless Defender, a number of others. Very grateful to them. We also have, unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us tonight, a guy named Jim. Jim is the president of the International Conference of Police Chaplains. There's another chaplain in the room right now. David, where's your chaplain? Can you come up here for a second? All right, come on up here. On behalf of Your American Flag Store, they reached out and they put together this absolutely gorgeous handcrafted flag with the logo of the International Conference of Police Chaplains. So Chuck, we're asking that you as a chaplain accept this on their behalf. Thank you. We've got a number of other support organizations, some of these incredible sponsors that I encourage you all to check out. I got to give a quick shout out to my boys over at TMPA, the Texas Municipal Police Association. So they've been shepherding us through this state as we've taken on the border crisis to report the truth as to what's really happening out there, right? And we've learned a lot of lessons. We've seen a lot of things firsthand. We've seen the sacrifices on the border of men and women who do this every single day. And a couple of weeks ago, we were out here, and I learned a pretty valuable lesson. We picked up our vehicle. And it turned out that the vehicle had expired registration, that expired about 6 months before. And it was in that moment that I realized, man, I love Texas, but even the cars are illegal in this state. But we've been spending a tremendous amount of time just trying to capture the truth. And my ask of every single one of you is that you help us to hold true to our reporting, to our coverage, to make sure that we are properly representing the voice of law enforcement. Guys, we're not perfect. We're going to screw up. We screw up every single day. We are going to do the best that we can to represent you. But it's a difficult job right now because it seems like there's this full-blown attack on law and order. And it seems that way because we, the people in this room, have screwed up. We've screwed up because we've been really proud to call ourselves the silent majority, right? And we wear that as a badge of honor. Yeah, we're part of the silent majority. We stand behind law enforcement. The reason why I say we've screwed up is because, man, we need to be the very, very vocal majority. It is our silence, it is our unwillingness to stand up and fight and back. I'll leave you all with an important little story. So for years, I've been blessed to interview the surviving spouses and family members of officers killed in the line of duty. And the only way that I've been able to do it is to almost, this is going to sound terrible, guys, but I have to kind of fictionalize it when doing the interviews. It's almost like you're watching a movie because, man, it is heavy. It is heavy to talk to a little kid that lost their dad, to a wife that lost her husband, to a husband that lost his wife. And so I was going out to National Police Week a few years ago. The flight was late, everything was late. So I get there, my crew's already set up, and I didn't get to put up that mental roadblock, that way that I just sort of disconnect from it just long enough to get through the interview and then process things after. And so I sit down in the first interview, talk to this little girl, sweet little girl. The first thing she says to me is, I wish I could tell my uncle one more time that I loved him. And I was like, I'm in trouble. And then I talked to her mom, and she said, I just wish I could tell my brother one more time that I love him. And I talked to his mom, same thing. And then Marlon sits down, Marlon's dad. And I could tell that Marlon's not doing so well. He only lost his son a few months ago. I said, brother, how you doing? He goes, I'm all right. I'm doing okay. I'm doing the best. Tell me about your office. That they know each other, the families. And it was the family didn't have a lot of money in the world, right? And so he said that they hadn't seen their son in years. Marlon goes, and then God kind of intervened in all this. I said, all right, cool. Tell me what happened. He goes, well, it was a few weeks before my son was killed in the line of duty that my wife and our house burned to the ground. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, no, it's okay. It was God. I said, yeah, brother, you got to walk me through this. He goes, well, thing is, we didn't really have much money. Like I said, we had no money. And so we were in this really dumpy motel. And while we were in that dumpy motel, waiting for the insurance money to kick in to try and kind of piece our lives back together, I got bit by a brown recluse spider. What? He goes, yeah, you ever see one of those spider bites, man? They're bad. It's like an infection, a flesh-eating bacteria. I said, I don't even know what to say, man. He goes, no, listen, that was God. I'm like, bro, listen, I'm a Christian, but you got to shepherd me along here. He goes, well, Kyle, here's the crazy thing. He goes, there was only one hospital that was able to handle this infection. And that hospital was just around the corner from where my son worked. And a couple of days before my son was murdered in the line of duty, we got to spend the entire day with my son for the first time in years and years and years. I understood in that moment. That was God. Every one of us are here tonight to honor those stories. Because Marlon's story is not unique. Marlon's story is not one and done. We're all here tonight because the big man upstairs has given us countless blessings, and sometimes we don't even recognize those blessings. I remember when I was 15 years old, my best friend died. I was in love with her, and it happened unexpectedly. She died of bacterial meningitis. And we were all thrown for a loop, and right away, they start giving us all sorts of antibiotics. No one's processing the fact that we're like just little kids struggling with this. And then it was my CCD teacher. I'm currently a recovering Catholic. I go to the Church of 1122, thank you, Pastor Greg. And my CCD teacher said, hey, listen, Melissa died for a reason. Okay, help me, because I'm struggling. I want to understand. And she said, well, for all you know, Melissa was supposed to be raped and murdered one day when she was older. And so, God let her die. I really struggled with that, guys. I struggled with that for years. And then flash forward, our national spokeswoman for law enforcement today, her name is Carla. We did a video with her as part of a series called Angels Among Us. And Carla's mom was the first female police chief in South Florida, and her father, 2 weeks after she was born, they have one piece of video footage, and he's rocking her. 2 weeks after she was born, her father was killed in the line of duty. Carla and her siblings went on to become law enforcement officers. Carla was one of the first actual cops in the door in the Parkland massacre. Carla has saved countless lives over the years. She's pulled children out of swimming pools, given them CPR and saved them. She has saved more lives than we will ever be able to count, because think about this, guys. Every one of those lives that she saved has gone on to impact countless others. And that was when I finally understood. My CCD teacher really kind of screwed up in her approach. But the message that I take away now that I'm way older is that everything happens in this world for a reason. And I know that some of you are struggling right now with some dark stuff that you're dealing with loss, with pain, with grief, with challenges that you're dealing with. And I want to let you know that it's sort of like this painting. And if you look really close, you can't see the big picture. And then when you zoom out, you realize what God's really doing. Guys, God is using every single person in this room right now to change the narrative. And so my prayer is that every single one of you remembers that no matter what happens in this country, and it is, let's face it, guys, we're in some scary times, right? But we're only in some scary times if we forget to remember who's in control, and it's God. And so I ask you all to not just remember that, and to not all just move forward understanding that there is a bigger plan and a bigger picture, but to stop being the silent majority and to get pretty damn loud, because we need your voices now louder than ever before. Guys, thank you all so much for honoring me. Thank you all for the work that you do. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Well, great work Kyle is doing. And God, Kyle, let me assure you, we will not be judgy about your hat. Bless your heart. I believe we are now fixing to, a gentleman couldn't be here, one of our awardees, and but he couldn't be here with us today, and we're talking about SRO Heath. So here is a little bit of his nomination and his taped acceptance speech. If I may, Corporal Jeffrey Heath of the, we don't have names like this in Texas. Wamiko, thank you. Wamiko, yeah, thank you. Sheriff's Office, in addition to his duties as a supervisor of the SRO department, is also responsible for being assigned to a middle and high school. This school is an alternative school for youth that have been assigned there due to their negative conduct. We all know what that means. At their home, school, or safety issues in the community, Corporal Heath became aware of it very quickly, and that there was a massive gang presence within the school. And other school locations with Wacomic County, Corporal Heath began to conducting research into these gangs and identifying gang members within the school system and within the county. Corporal Heath was able to identify which students belonged to which gang, and if these gangs cooperated with each other or were foes of each other. Corporal Heath began his search, open resources, social media, to observe posts that were made by these gang members. With the proliferation of smart devices, the amount of intelligence investigation information was readily available to today's law enforcement. And it is increasing every single day. Utilizing open sources again on social media allows law enforcement interception of actionable intelligence and evidence collection. Corporal Heath would forward that information to the school safety coordinator and law enforcement to further investigate the crimes that were being portrayed on social media throughout the community. Corporal Heath forwarded the gang's activity information to his fellow deputies for their safety, and within the school they were assigned. Corporal Heath observed activity of drug distribution as well as illegal firearm possession. Corporal Heath was instrumental in identifying persons involved in drug sales and firearms that were being displayed. It was because of this and many other actions that Jeffrey Heath is being awarded with the 2024 National Law Enforcement Officers Hall of Fame School Resource Officer of the Year. Now we'll have a video.
Truly honored to receive the award for SRO of the Year from the National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame. I wish to express my deepest gratitude for being selected as the recipient of this award. I'm sure there were a lot of qualified candidates for this award, and to be selected as the recipient is extremely humbling. Your recognition validates the hard work and dedication I have put into my role, and I am immensely thankful for the honor. I have worked in nearly every division of the Sheriff's Office has to offer, and no other division has been such fulfilling than the role of a school resource officer. I promise to continue striving for the high standards that this award represents. This distinction is certainly a highlight of my career. I am proud to be part of such an esteemed organization and among the best law enforcement this nation has to offer. I would also like to thank God, my family, my deputies, and the teaching staff who have supported me with my efforts along the way to help make the public schools and community a safer place to learn and live. Thank you again for this prestigious acknowledgement.
I believe we're going to ask Dolores Judge to the stage to present the next one. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Before I get started, I'd like to say thank you to all law enforcement agencies. This is not my type of thing. I'm a back person, back to scene person. So if I get nervous or cry, but I'm here tonight to honor my daughter, Courage. She's been had courage since day one. She never looks back. If she knocks down, she turns around, she go another way. She's not afraid of anything. The night she was shot, at eight times, but she was only hit 5. Even though she was shot, she still got up and was trying to catch the guy that shot her. Courage. That I don't think I would have had. She stayed in the hospital for 1 week. The next week, she's ready to go back to work, but she couldn't because of her injuries. Courage. I looked in the dictionary to see what courage means. She does courage justice. She does it. She has it. She wills everybody else to have courage. She wants everybody else to know that law enforcement is a job that she loves. She wants everybody to know that don't hate law enforcement because there are good and bad law enforcement. But the ones that are good, thank them. Because that night I could have not had her because she could have passed. But the goodness and grace of God, she's still here, she's still fighting, and she has a lot more courage. She's even taught me courage. So tonight I'm here to present Ms. Kimber Gist, my heart, my hero, the Courage Award.
Well, good evening, y'all. Awesome to be here. First, I would like to just Tom and Dan even too wanted to do a podcast about my story, and it was a couple of years later. So I was just like, it's been 8 years now. So I said, why are we still talking about this 8 years later? And then I realized that because it's still happening 8 years later, law enforcement officers are still being shot in line of duty. We're still being persecuted, prosecuted for just about any and everything. So just briefly about my story, in February of 2016, February 26, 2016, actually, I was shot 9 times in the line of duty because I was trying to do an investigation on a suspicious vehicle. My rookie year, I hadn't even been on patrol for a year yet, so I was just that one that was just out trying to get it every single night. Love working midnight shifts. So just this particular night, this individual did not want to go to jail, so we had a pretty decent shootout that night. One thing about me was once I realized that I was shot, I was really, excuse my language, pissed off. So that's how we ended up shooting at each other. He is now deceased, as he should be. It was a very long recovery, road to recovery. Like my mom stated, I was in the hospital for a week. I was out of work for almost a year. It was about 11 and a half months. So the stomach injury and the foot injury put me out the longest. But one thing about it, I just knew I was going back. Like they came in the hospital room and they were like, "It's okay if you don't want to come back." And I'm like, "Not come back? Like this guy doesn't get to dictate when my law enforcement career is over." So of course I went back a year later, just about. Completed my law enforcement year actually last year, so now I'm with the federal government, moved up, so that helped me. But I love law enforcement. I miss it every single day. I miss being on patrol. I was a shift dog. That's just wild. I just thought all the excitement was there. I am glad to be here today. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Dan, for keeping our stories alive. For everybody else that's being awarded tonight, thank you. Obviously, we went through something that a lot of law enforcement don't understand. They don't get it, and I pray every day that they don't, unfortunately, but it still happens. So just understand that road to recovery never continues to go. Like I said, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for the honor, and love every single one of y'all.
Everybody that's live.
Just like a great drug war, everything just doesn't always go as we expected. But wasn't Kimber incredible? I mean, just incredible mindset. We will have the next speaker up is Zatai. Oh boy. It's his common spelling. It's Samigulski. Is that right? Is that right? I'm sorry I butchered that. While she's coming up is, by the way, you're in Chris Kyle country, by the way, at Great American Hero. And I was on the phone today with his wife, Taya, and she says, "What are you doing this evening?" I told her, and she says, "You need jokes." So I'm if you'll, just for a moment, from Taya Kyle. She wanted cops jokes. She says, "The wife has crashed the car again today. She told the police the man she collided with was on his mobile phone and drinking a can of beer. The police officer said, 'Yes, ma'am, you can do that in your own living room.'" From Taya Kyle.
Zeta Smigelski. It's okay. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I am here to not only present this award to Officer Wes Smigelski, but to present it to my dad, my hero and best friend. His job has been a part of his life for a certain amount of time, but it's been a part of mine my whole life. There has been ups and downs, but how lucky am I to be able to watch his career grow. Through every scary or applauded moment, I have been there, at least in your heart, and I promise to keep being there and being your biggest supporter. The day he called, November 13th of last year, and informed me and my mom of the shooting, my heart dropped, but oddly enough, I was not worried. My dad is the most bravest and courageous person I know. His officer was shot, and my dad is a protector. His options were limited when he had ran out of bullets and saw his officer go down. My dad puts everybody before himself. So my dad ran to his officer while still being shot at. That alone tells you the kind of person my dad is. A fighter with a heart of gold. And my dad told me I kept replaying in his mind. That comment didn't make me sad, but over the moon. Let me be your strength and mindset through those hard times like you've been mine for my whole life. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this award. I love you very much, Dad, and here's to more butt kicking. And with that, I would like to present my dad, Officer Wes Migelski.
Well, thank you for that. I was over there going to start crying for a second. First of all, I start with thanking my dad for my last name. When I started this career, it was phenomenal. If I ever got any complaints, nobody could pronounce my last name, so I kind of got off. So thank you, Dad, for that. I'm going to kind of go back a little bit. From this was actually my third shooting that I was involved in. But the 2016, I was involved in. We had a courthouse from an individual that we arrested at my department, who ended up stealing a gun from one of the bailiffs at a courthouse and shot and killed two people. One of them was one of my close friends. And what I kind of want to go into is a little bit of I think a lot of the officers in here know is the mental aspect of our careers, which I don't think a lot of people have done. I know I didn't do that, and I vowed after this last shooting that I was involved in, when I got Drew out of there, and Deputy Nanefeld saved mine and Drew's life, I vowed to always, if I had a platform, I was going to use what I've been through to tell everybody else that it's okay to speak out and to get help for the things that we go to and we see. Courage is not only just going into the battlefield and running into the things that we do every day, but courage is also knowing when you need to talk to somebody other than your family to get help. I have a great support system. And I'm man enough to know that I learned that the hard way since 2016. I learned that the hard way where you hit rock bottom and have to pick yourself back up. Shootings are very difficult to go through. I don't think a lot of people know that. I think people in this room do. But getting the help that you deserve is something that's going to be near and dear to my heart from now on. So courage is not only, like I said, not only just going into the battlefield, but learning when you need to get help. I have a great support system in my family, my dad, my stepmom, who are here today, my mom who's watching at home, my brother, my sister-in-law. And then I also have a great department. We're just like family, which is unbelievable to me. Coloma Township just blesses me every single day, lets me do what I need to do with my department. And I can't thank them enough for the courage that they instill into me to be able to bless other people and bless our community with the department that we have. So, having that said, I thank everyone enough. Thank everyone for having us here today. And this award means a lot. I'm very humble. I don't think I deserve it. I'm actually going to share this award with everybody in my county and all the officers that I share this awesome career with. So, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We would like to introduce to the stage right now is Michael Best. Michael is now, as they're coming up to introduce friends to the Hall of Fame, past winner Michael Best, co-founder of Leo Support Systems, and they've been very much instrumental. Thank you, Michael. Okay.
Having fun so far? Everybody having fun? Real quick, find somebody you don't know and introduce yourself. Real quick. Can I give you this guy? All right, so real quick, I don't want to take too much time, probably 45, 50 minutes. What are you guys doing? Very appreciative to Megan and Adam and the rest of the board for allowing me to have the opportunity to speak and allowing me to be in the Hall of Fame. I said this in the past, and I'm going to say it again because new people are here that I haven't met before. But for everybody to get inducted, welcome to the family. This is really, seriously, since I've met Megan and Adam and the rest of the board, it's like my family has grown. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Last guy said it. I don't feel like I deserve to be in here. Like researching some of the people that have been inducted in the past and this year, like doesn't hold a candle to anything that I've done. So to be in the presence of greatness is truly humbling. Couple things. I got some notes here. If you want to support the Law Enforcement Officer Hall of Fame, which everybody should be doing, which you obviously are because you're here, but another way you can do it is make sure you go to their website. They're doing a raffle right now for a repeater rifle, nationalleohalloffame.com. Make sure you go there and buy a raffle ticket, please. A little bit about the Leo Support Foundation. So it stands for Law Enforcement Officer Support Foundation. My buddy and I, back in 2017, Danny can't be here, unfortunately, this year. He sends his love to everyone. We were sitting around. He wanted tourniquets and quick clot for his police department up in Rockport, Mass, and there was no money in the budget to do it. And I said, why don't we just raise the money and do it? So we held a fundraiser. We did a motorcycle run. We raised enough money. We outfitted the Rockport Police Department with tourniquets and quick clot. So after that, we started talking like, why don't we do this like for real? And then, that was back in 2017, and now we're in 9 states, over 2,000 kits donated. We donated tourniquets and quick clot to a police department a couple years ago. 8 months after our donation, somebody used one of our tourniquets to save somebody's life. A couple years ago, my buddy Tom, that's at the fun table. So Tom was retired and wanted to stay connected to the law enforcement community and wanted to do something for mental health outreach. So I was talking to him, getting things going because I set up the 501c3 for us. So I was helping him get going, and I said, why don't you just come on board with us? With the mental health outreach stuff we've been doing, we just trained 30 police officers in PTS peer support so they can help police officers after critical incidents. We've done things like free comedy shows for first responders. And what else have we done, Todd? We've been doing some stuff. You might see the bags, and sir, I'll bring you your bag. I didn't want to have to be elevated again, so I'll bring one upstage. But so this year, we did the same thing last year too, but this year, Leo Support Foundation stopped me out of the car. We put these gift bags together. You guys might see my fancy snazzy hat that I'm wearing. So the Leo Support Foundation has these hats, but this is a custom-made version that's only for members of the Hall of Fame, board members of the Hall of Fame, and the founders of the Hall of Fame. Another round of applause for them, by the way. So as you come up to accept your awards, please take your bag with you. There's some gift cards in there from Galls. There's some stuff in there from Fox and Hound. They gave a spray in there, a vest spray. And then you get the hats, the ornaments. There's all sorts of stuff in there. You'll figure it out. Everybody take out your phones. literally not one person moved. Come on. All right. Facebook, @SaveLeos, SAVELEOS. Instagram, @SaveLeos. LinkedIn, where's Banner? What are you guys even doing here? LinkedIn, Leo Sport Foundation, and I'll just show you one of these kits real quick too. Yes, these are the kits that we donate. It's a tourniquet, package a quick clot. It's got a belt holder for the tourniquet, so you can wear it on your duty belt. And then there's an informational pamphlet in here that has resources on the back of the pamphlet that for first responder mental health resources and outreach. That's my time. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for letting me do that. Appreciate it.
Love you. Love
you. Don't forget your bag. No. Notice that accent, probably just a little east of Tyler, Texas. Well, he's doing fantastic work, and we certainly absolutely appreciate that. And David Bray will be joining me in just a moment, but we're going to be honoring Johnny Castro. Johnny paints portraits of fallen officers for the families. And we ask Johnny to save us the portraits of the officers killed in the line of duty from last year's event. While we honor those with us tonight, we have also to remember those that we lost and the sacrifices of those that came before us. We stand on those giants' shoulders as we go forward. So please welcome David Bray to the stage, and we'll take a moment to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, for they shall never, ever be forgotten.
Check 1, 2. I just want to introduce this song. My name is Dave Bray. I've been able to perform this song all over the nation for countless different law enforcement communities and different nonprofits. I've performed it in Washington, D.C. for families of the fallen. It has been used in countless tribute videos, some which have been put out by Kyle and his team, and been viewed millions upon millions of times. When I started out in my musical career, I didn't know I was going to write this song. I didn't know what was going to happen with my musical life, but what I did know is that I had a little bit of an ability and a little bit of a talent. And as a civilian, I saw what was happening in the law enforcement community, and like Kyle, I wanted to step forward and, like Vaughn, fill a gap that needed to be filled that I wasn't seeing in music. So as I sing this song, I want y'all just to take a moment. I want you to take a moment to remember the service. I want you to take a moment to remember the sacrifices that our men and women in blue are facing each and every day. And then I want you to multiply whatever thought you have about that, and whatever turmoil you believe they're going through. I want you to multiply that by about 10. The media adds a magnifying glass to the strife of law enforcement every single day and paints a picture that is not fair. Our law enforcement is gag ordered on social media many times and unable to say the truth about situations. And unfortunately, the media takes any high-rated, high-visual story and blows it into a proportion that creates judgment upon law enforcement. So with this song, I wanted to pay honor and tribute to the brave men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for that thin blue line. But moreover, I wanted to give a voice back to those brave men and women, back to their families, back to their husbands, back to their wives, back to their children, back to their brothers and sisters in blue. So this song is written from the perspective of a fallen law enforcement officer giving those back words back to his family. I'm Dave Bray, USA. Thank you again to the Law Enforcement Hall of Fame for having me. Y'all please rise as we pay honor and tribute to our fallen. These are the last few words I'd like to say to you all. This is my last call. Tell her how I love her, and then I'll be home tonight. Thank you for those long, hard years of me trying to get it right. Tell her I'm waiting after she makes it through it all. This is my last call. Ask her to forgive me. Tell her I'm sorry. That I can't be the man she's gonna be. Tell her I'm waiting where the winter is the fall. This is my last call. Tell my children they love them. Oh, yeah, the daddy always loved them so. Tell them to hold them all their time and never let it go. Tell them I'll always be watching, looking over them through it all. This is my last call. Tell them to fight for me. Do what's right for me. Choose a life for me. Don't ever forget me. Tell them I'll always be watching. It'll be here time before. This is my last call. Those who serve beside me and who held up the new light. Stand tall, stand strong, and hold your head high. I'm sorry I let you down today. Please know I give my all. This is my last call. This is my last call. Sit around and see a few good lines, but I couldn't see no more. This is my last call. It's for a phone.
On behalf of law enforcement, thank you, David. Thank you very much. And I believe now we're going to have, we're going to be talking about canines. Karen Goss. Thank you. She's making her way to the stage. Is that those from out of town, there's hat stores uptown. Get your cowboy hats. by the way, is speaking to ladies, men, and ladies, you'll need to know that I can hear you better because your voice goes along the rim of my hat and falls into my ears. But according to my wife, my listening skills haven't improved at all. Miss Karen Doss.
Awesome.
That's a tough act to follow. Wow. Good evening. Hope everybody's having a good time tonight. I want to thank Megan and Adam and the board for NLEF Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for adding the canines to your awards. I'm very honored. Okay, I'm thrilled to welcome you all to this momentous occasion. My name is Karen Doss, and I am the founder of the Fox and Hound Canine Foundation. Tonight, in collaboration with the National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame, we have the privilege of presenting the inaugural Fox and Hound Canine Foundation Award. It is with the utmost honor and respect that we gather here to bestow the award upon the 2024 Canine Hero inductee, Canine Kit of the Braintree Police Department, for his service and sacrifice. I'm going to try to get through this. On the fateful day of June 4th, 2021, Canine Kit and Officer Bill Cushing responded to a domestic violence call, where it was reported that suspects potentially possessed 2 firearms. The situation escalated as the suspect, on foot, sought refuge in the woods. In the face of danger, Canine Kit fearlessly pursued the scent of the suspect, leading Officer Cushing to the scene where the suspect lay in hiding between a 4-foot wall or tall rock. As the suspect emerged with a firearm drawn, Kit bravely leaped into action. Despite the imminent threat, he lunged at the suspect, who discharged his weapon 3 times. Tragically, Kit was killed, struck and flung backward, landing on the ground. In that moment, a loyal partner made the ultimate sacrifice, giving his life to shield 3 officers who had been shot by the suspect. In that instant, a partner lost their companion and closest ally. A family mourned the loss of one of its own, and a department grieved for a fallen officer. The community lost a steadfast protector. The selfless and unwavering actions of Canine Kit serve as a reminder of the extraordinary dedication and valor displayed by our law enforcement professionals, both human and canine. Join me in acknowledging the extraordinary bond and unparalleled bravery as we pay tribute to their spirit and unwavering commitment to protecting and serving our community. I kindly request everyone to stand as we present the first Fox and Hound Canine Foundation Hero Award to Officer Cushing, who is accepting on behalf of Canine Kit. This was my first time meeting Officer Billy, and I have a canine handler who does our artwork for us, and I would like to present this painting to you.
See if I can get through this without falling up here on stage. Good evening. Thank you to the National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame, Adam and Megan, the Fox and Hound Foundation. Thank you so much, Karen. This is an honor to be standing up here in front of you all tonight. I'd like to thank all the members of the law enforcement community across this country for doing the work that many would like to pretend doesn't exist, isn't needed, and is far too often misrepresented. The path to law enforcement is different for all of us. Some of us enter this profession on a whim with the thought, I think I'll be a cop, and discover that the I think was actually a calling. Others find a more direct path through corrections, military experience, or family legacy. No matter how you ended up here, there's one commonality that extends beyond state borders, race, religion, or any other grouping, and that's desire to positively impact the security of civil society. My path led me to the K-9 unit, which connected me with a 1 in a million dog named Kit. Though this path was tough, demanding, and at times unsafe, I knew that in all the different jobs within policing, this is where I was meant to be. Kit and I had a job, and that job was to find those suspects who did not want to be found, often making them the most dangerous to pursue. My life changed forever on June 4th, 2021. Officer Seibert, Officer Matt Donahue, and myself entered a wood line in search of a suspect who was said to be armed with multiple firearms. Kit was leading the way and immediately began tracking the suspect through a heavily wooded area. Due to his behavior change, I knew that this person was close. I told those guys, get ready, this dude's in here. Seconds later, Kit made contact with the suspect who was lying in wait. As soon as this happened, he immediately fired 3 shots, instantly killing Kit. His actions allowed myself and my 2 backup officers the split second that we needed to return fire and eliminate the threat. Eliminate the threat is code for we put over 40 rounds into him. Although I know this award is not an acknowledgement of that day, I always make it a point to tell people that Kit was more than just that one call. He was the missing link, a difference maker, and a true warrior. He took his work with an unusual ease, as if it was a singular purpose in life, to protect and support the good while hunting down the bad. I'll also say too, Mike just touched on tourniquets. Without tourniquets, I would have died in that wooded area that day. Luckily, I had the right guys with me who had some medical training, and Officer Simon was able to apply a tourniquet to me, and he ultimately saved my life. So once again, thank you to the National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame, everyone who had a hand in putting this ceremony together. Awards like this for individual actions or careers are truly reflective of the appreciation for police officers across the United States who put their lives on the line to keep others safe. This is huge being here in front of all of you tonight. Thank you. Please take care of one another, be safe, and like K-9 Kit lived his life, keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thanks for the introduction, I appreciate it. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Eric Costa. I'm the Chief of Police in the city of Middletown. And tonight, I have the honor of introducing you to our hero. First, I'd like to thank, though, the National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame for this opportunity to honor our officer. I'd like to thank the sheriff. I need a cowboy hat. I think coming from the Northeast, it definitely put people on notice, the cowboy hat. But thank you in your beautiful county. It's just that spending the time here. So go on to our hero. I went home after August 12th and spoke to my daughter, who is 16 years old, and like me, starting to get the call of service as a police officer. We talked about this incident that occurred in our city, where a strong young woman named Detective Carly Travis was involved in an officer-involved shooting. And she came, and the first thing she said to me is that she won. Knowing what was reported on the news, she let me know that the strength of Carly was that she won. So with that being said, it is my distinct privilege to stand before you today to introduce you to Detective Carly Travis, a true excellent dedication to our and excellence and valor in our field of law enforcement as we gather here to celebrate her induction into the Hall of Fame. On August 12th, 2023, Detective Travis responded to Red Liberty Street in the north end of Middletown. She responded to a male who was yelling and screaming, smashing items in his residence around 6:30 in the morning. Detective Travis, who was first on scene, tactfully approached in a manner to assess the situation without making her presence known. As she drew near to the residence, she observed a male suspect in the driveway with a hammer in his hand, appearing highly agitated. The subject saw Detective Travis. At that point, he rushed towards Detective Travis in a quick and very aggressive manner. Detective Travis remained calm, giving clear and concise verbal commands for the suspect to stop and to put the hammer down. The subject did not comply and continued towards Detective Travis. Detective Travis now attempted to create space between the suspect and herself. However, the suspect quickly ran and overpowered Detective Travis, despite the numerous commands to stop. The suspect continued to his unprovoked attack on Detective Travis by swinging and striking her with a hammer multiple times. Detective Travis was now on the ground in a fight for her life, with the suspect on top of her continuing to assault her with the hammer. Courageously, Detective Travis was able to fight the suspect in order to use her firearm to protect herself and to stop the imminent threat of death that quickly was posed to herself and the community. Detective Travis' extraordinary ability to go from the guardian mindset to the warrior mindset in a matter of seconds shows the difficulty of decision-making under life and death situations. The Middletown family, the Middletown Police Department, loves you, Carly. We will be with you always through this journey. I would like to say congratulations to you on your induction to the National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame. Please welcome Detective Carly Travis.
I was told to prepare a speech, and I did, but it's on the phone. It's not here. So, I first want to thank Jeff Falk and Haley Falk because of the Brave, because they are the reason that I'm here today. They recognized me and they nominated me for this award, and I'm very grateful for that, because the day that I got the call from Adam and Megan, I was not expecting it. I was not told that I was even a part of this or thought. So I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. I'm also very thankful to my chief and deputy chief for making me come out here and being very supportive. This just happened about 6 months ago. Our city we are very well staffed, so this type of thing does not happen regularly. And I also am very thankful because I have an amazing family, and family has always been very important to me. So two of my brothers are here, and my dad is here, and I have a girlfriend is here, and they all traveled from different parts of the country. So I'm very grateful for that. And with that being said, there's nothing like this entire situation happened in 30 seconds. So if that's not 0 to 100, I don't know what is. That's how quickly things can change, and that's what people don't understand, how quickly things can change. Now that we have body cam, I know what happened in 30 seconds when I thought it happened in about 2 minutes, and I realized it was 30 seconds. It really was amazing to me as well. So with that being said, our family life is the most important, and so my boyfriend has been amazing mentally and physically. So a lot of our wounds are not seen, and that's not like gunshot wounds are seen, and my type of incident did not include, it included one, but not, it wasn't the same as other people's, but there are different kinds of physical wounds that are not quite as seen as gunshot wounds. And so my boyfriend has been amazing, and receiving a call of an officer involved shooting, I just cannot imagine going through that. And so, but I had to make that call in the hospital, and it's just a very enlightening situation. So anyways, I'm gonna stop talking because I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Yes, you did outstanding, and I know you made your chief proud, which, forgive me, Chief, I didn't think you needed introduction. We know who you are, and you did a great job there, and thank y'all both. Incredible. Well, it is, I believe that now we'll have the Fort Myers team is coming up, and some folks from Fort Myers is here with the Derek Diggs and Foundation, and Chief Diggs. And it looks like to me that Chief Richard Mix and Derek Diggs from Fort Myers, Texas. Fort Myers, I should say Fort Myers, Texas, but it's Fort Myers, Florida. Oh, here it is.
I first want to start out by saying thank you to the National Hall of Fame. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and esteemed members of the law enforcement community. My name is Deputy Chief Rich Meeks with the Fort Myers Police Department. I'm here today on behalf of Chief Derek Diggs. Chief Diggs passed away in February 2023. This is with profound. I had the privilege of, I can say words seem inadequate to express the magnitude of the impact that Chief Diggs had on the communities he served, as well as the law enforcement agencies that he led as Chief of Police. Chief Diggs dedicated his life to the service of others and the betterment of the communities. He began his remarkable journey in law enforcement in 1977, driven as a childhood dream instilled in him during his formative years. His commitment to this noble calling was unwavering, his dedication was unmatched. For 46 years, he stood as a beacon of integrity, compassion, and unwavering resolve. From his early days with the Toledo Police Department to his historic appointment as their Chief of Police in 2011, Chief Diggs blazed trails and shattered barriers. As the first African American to hold such a position, he not only paved the way for future generations, but also set exemplary standards of excellence in leadership. His tenure as Chief of Police in Toledo was marked by innovation, inclusivity, and a steadfast commitment to community policing. Chief Diggs understood that the true measure of a department's success lies not in the statistics or the accolades, but in the trust and the cooperation of the community serves. Even though I can tell you in Fort Myers Police Department, he dropped our crime over 55 to 65%, both in property and violent crimes, over about 5 years period. He led us from being one of the most violent cities in the nation to the third safest city in the nation now. Chief Diggs' legacy of community engagement extended far beyond Toledo. Resonating profoundly during his tenure as the Chief of Police for the Fort Myers Police Department, he continued his tireless advocacy for positive change, revitalizing our police athletic league program and becoming and touching the lives of countless young individuals. His guidance, or under his guidance, the program flourished, becoming a testament to his vision and unwavering commitment to the nurturing our future leaders. As we reflect on Chief Diggs' extraordinary legacy, let us not mourn his passing, but instead celebrate the lasting mark he has left on our hearts and our profession. His spirit lives on in the lives that he touched and the countless lives he helped shape for the better. May we continue to honor his memory by upholding the values of integrity, compassion, and service that he embodied every day of his remarkable life. I can tell you he's probably looking down on us right now, and I can hear his words saying, outstanding, just outstanding. Thank you, and God bless. I'm here to present the Founders Award to his son, Derek Diggs Jr. and Diggy.
First and foremost, just very humbled to be able to accept this award on behalf of my father. Thank you to Tarrant County Sheriff for hosting this today. Thank you, Adam and Megan. Thank you, Fort Myers Police Department, for putting my father up for this recognition. Thank you to Toledo Police Department for sending representatives. Thank you to retired Chief Deputy Pepitone, who's been with my father both at Toledo and in Fort Myers. Thank you for former Toledo Mayor Mike Bell for making the trip down here. Thank you everybody for being here in attendance. It's just crazy to think the impact and change that my father, even though he's not here, continues to make from up above and blesses us, and how he continues to mold and shape the Fort Myers Police Department and making sure they continue his goals and missions to make that city a safer place and continue to engage the community to bridge that gap with the community and the police department. Every day we're still blessed. He teaches us leadership roles. He's greatly influenced my career as a law enforcement officer in teaching me how to play chess and not checkers. And we're just excited to be here and accept this award for you. Thank you, everybody.
Incredible to watch a legacy unfold right before our very eyes and watch people do great things. I believe I'm going to have Dan Murphy is next up. And come on up, Dan. He's our next presenter.
First of all, it's a great honor to be here tonight at the induction ceremony for the 2024 class of the National Law Enforcement Officers Hall of Fame. The Hall is a tremendous organization dedicated to ensuring the proper level of honor and respect is given to the incredible men and women who distinguish themselves above and beyond the already amazing members of law enforcement. Megan and Adam continue to do great work, and I ask all to help them on this worthwhile journey. During the course of a career in the NYPD, it's likely that one would work with hundreds and possibly thousands of other cops of various ranks. It's normal to call many of these friends because of so many shared experiences, both good and bad. However, not all will graduate to brother status. Tom Smith was born the son of a veteran NYPD detective and always dreamed of following in his dad's footsteps. His dad was his hero,
and Tom grew up referring to his dad's partners as family. He was taught that to be an NYPD detective was a calling and not for the faint of heart. He learned of the commitment and stresses associated with the work, but also saw the joys that can come with doing great work on behalf of innocent victims. When Tom joined the NYPD in 1990, the city was in a state of collapse from a crime and quality of life perspective. The rates of homicide and violent crime were astronomical and made history. He was assigned to among the very busiest of precincts, one I had worked in previously, the 22-block-long 30th precinct in Harlem. Tom quickly established himself as a hardworking, active street cop and was assigned to the precinct plainclothes unit, where he distinguished himself with a steady flow of excellent arrests for weapons, shootings, and other felony crimes. He also bravely engaged in a wild shootout with armed robbers in which a fellow cop was shot and wounded. He was awarded the NYPD's Medal of Valor for his actions that day. Tom was transferred to the Narcotics Division, where his focus, energy, and enthusiasm for the job resulted in his team achieving noteworthy results, including the seizure of the largest number of kilos of cocaine in the history of the Bronx Narcotic District. Not content to do just the normal street enforcement work, Tom was driven to create larger cases and work towards wiretaps. He always did above and beyond the norm. Tom and I met in 1999 when we were both assigned to the Bronx Gang Investigation Squad. It was here I first saw Tom's laser-like focus on a case, his unwavering commitment to accomplishing the goal of clearing cases with high-quality arrests, like the manhunt and arrest of the Nietas street gang leader after seizing a literal arsenal of weapons and a huge cache of drugs. He also worked on the small team that successfully built the federal RICO case against the founder and leader of the United Blood Nation. That individual currently resides as a guest at the federal Supermax facility in Florence, Colorado. Tom then put on a suit and went to a busy precinct detective squad in the Bronx, where he again applied the principles of hard work, focus, creativity, and street savvy to clear significant cases on behalf of victims and their families, including homicides, robberies, and much more. While these accomplishments are worthy of praise, they are not why I nominated Tom for the whole. It's what he accomplished in his 17 years spent in the Joint Terrorism Task Force after 9/11 that makes his career stand out. After 9/11, Tom and I were both reunited in the Joint Terrorism Task Force, where he brought all his skills and focus on excellence to bear in the global war against terror. As a supervisor, I got to both work alongside him and to see the high level of professionalism he brought to a case. He was so highly respected in the task force that when a New York Times reporter was kidnapped in Afghanistan, it was Tom and his FBI partner who were selected to run the case. Tom worked tirelessly and with every conceivable entity and agency to gather the tools he would need. Tom spent 3 months on the ground in Afghanistan, teamed closely with the CIA and the US Navy SEALs, working closely with also his very own high-level source of information that he developed. Ultimately, his extraordinary efforts resulted in the peaceful release of the reporter who was reunited with his family shortly afterwards. Tom worked on many highly significant cases while assigned to the JTTF, including stopping a school shooter before he struck. Other cases he worked on I cannot mention because of clearance issues, but they are among those you perhaps have read about or heard about in national and global media. Tom is among the very best to ever proudly wear the gold NYPD Detective Shield. His commitment and ability to stay focused are peerless. He simply doesn't give up. He finds a way to get the bad guy. Always did. In the NYPD, we had a way of giving the highest compliment one can give to a detective. We would say, if something happened to me or a member of my family, I want you on the case because I know you will get those responsible and get it right. This is Tom's legacy. If you're a bad guy, you want anyone but Tom on your case. Tom took cases personally and was the embodiment of dogged determination in his relentless pursuit of those responsible. It is with a great deal of pride that I formally induct my friend, partner, and brother, Tom Smith, into the National Law Enforcement Officers Hall of Fame for the Shira Remsburg Lifetime Achievement Award.
All right, Tom, don't screw this speech up, Tom.
Thank you so very, very much. First of all, I want to congratulate all the other inductees tonight. You are what makes this job special. Your dedication and, of course, sacrifice is what we all live up to. So congratulations to you and your families, and I am honored to share this night with you. To Megan and Adam, we are all so grateful for your relentless dedication and support of our profession. And your day-to-day hard work brings this night to life. Thank you for everything you do. To Danny, who without him I would not be standing up here tonight. He's my partner, he's my friend and brother, and thank you so much for this honor. When Danny and Megan and Adam had called me in January to tell me about this induction, I was speechless, I was emotional. It didn't help that Megan started crying 15 seconds into the call. But that just showed how much this means to her. And then when they told me about it being a Lifetime Achievement Award and receiving this award with the names etched on this of two incredible men, Joel Scherer and Charles Remsburg, it meant even more. And then after meeting Joel last night and spending some time with him, I'm even more proud to be up here tonight after last night. You know, when we embark on our careers, we don't imagine this. But this goes to a conversation that I had with my dad when I graduated the police academy. My dad said to me, listen, if you're gonna do this job, do it great. Just do the best you can at whatever's in front of you, whether you're answering a phone or doing a homicide case. Just do it great. And I brought that with me my entire career. I often found myself saying that to myself in the car, going to a crime scene, or going to do a briefing. Just saying, hey, nail this one. Do this one great. And Danny's gonna get mad at me, because he always does. But throughout my career, all I did was my job. All I wanted to do was do the very best I could with whatever was in front of me, whatever the case, the operation, the surveillance, and just do the best I could with the gifts that God gave me. And luckily, I was successful at that. But the great part might not be what you think. The great part to me was a successful conclusion to a case, and having that moment and that opportunity to share that with your partner or your teammates, with a high five or a hug, because you did it right. We got the bad guys, we closed the case, and that is what this is all about. And I had the opportunity to work with the best men and women in law enforcement that the NYPD has. And I owe them so much for making me what I became and able to be up here tonight in front of you. Because there is no case that I did alone. Everything I did was with somebody, with a partner, with a team. And they enabled me to do the very best I could, and they pushed me. And they brought me to levels that I never thought I had.
People like George Figueroa, who was my partner on patrol, and George and I were the partners. We knew each other, we knew each other's moves, we had each other's backs, and were successful, thankfully. Carlos Perez, who was my partner in narcotics and in the robbery squad. And Carlos taught me how to be a detective. He showed me and told me, don't ever stop. Don't stop until you get the bad guys and the case is done. To leaders like Dan Murphy, who brought the leadership definition to life. Danny was my partner and sergeant in the Bronx Gang Unit and in the Joint Terrorism Task Force. And Danny brought all his skills and a great experience as a detective and brought it into the rank of sergeant to teach us and to lead us and show us how things were supposed to be done. And when you're surrounded by people like that, it's easy to be successful. It's easy to want to go to work every day and do the job that we were called to do. And I had a blast, and I couldn't thank all these people enough for getting me up here. Thank you to all of them. Part of this award is for what I've done after the NYPD, specifically what Dan and I do on our show Gold Shields. And on Gold Shields, we do exactly what we're doing here tonight. We highlight the great work of men and women in law enforcement because more people need to know what goes into this job. It is not easy. It is extremely hard, both physically and mentally. And if Dan and I can add to that and bring more attention to this incredible profession by telling a story or having a guest on, then we will keep doing it for as long as we can. And when we do our show, the stories that we hear blow our minds sometimes. We become speechless. We become so incredibly fascinated by what is being said on our show. The biggest compliment I think you can give somebody, they become part of our family. And I can't say enough how proud I am that some of my new family members are here tonight sharing this night with me. Megan and Adam, Kimber, Cheryl, Bannon, Dave, Kyle, Slater, Bridget. Thank you so very much for pushing me once again to a level and doing something I never thought I'd be able to do. Thank you for being here. And lastly, and most importantly, this is a Lifetime Achievement Award. And in my lifetime, both before, during, and after the job, I've had one constant in my life, my beautiful wife, Angela. Angie and I met before I got on the job, and she knew exactly what this job meant to me. She saw it in my eyes and heard it in my voice and felt it in my heart, and she knew exactly what the rest of her life was going to entail, and she took it head on. All the stories you heard tonight from Dan during his incredible speech, Angie's been at, right by my side, every story you heard. She's been to award dinners, she's been to promotions, she's been to medal day. She's also been at the hospital. She's also had to come and pick me up at work because I was hurt and couldn't drive home. She's also been the one staying up at night when I came home from a really bad night and being able to talk it out and get it out of my head and off my chest, no matter what time it was, no matter what time she had to get up and go to work. She stayed up so we could clear it and go to bed peacefully. As Dan has mentioned, JTTF, I traveled around the world quite often, and Angela became somewhat of a single mom. On top of her full-time job as a guidance counselor, she took care of the three of the best kids on this planet, Taylor, Nicolette, and Ryan. And Ange would get pulled in three different directions with baseball and softball and dance, and then do homework at night and study and get them to bed and do it all over again the next day. That is great. And one story kind of sums Ange up. As Dan mentioned, I was in Afghanistan for 3 months. And in that time, our communication was somewhat limited. So we did the best we could. So when I got home, it was even more special that I was home, I was safe and back with the family. And then 2 weeks later, she came home from work and saw her bag on the bed, all packed, and me getting dressed. And she said, "Hey, what's up?" And I told her I had to go to Dubai. Now, she would have had every right in the world to have been upset and disappointed. And she looked at me and said, "Okay, what do you need?" And we finished packing. We sat down and went over what the week was going to be like with the kids. She gave me a hug and a kiss goodbye and told me to be safe and call her when I got there. Now, I've often said that the most difficult job in the world is the spouse of someone in law enforcement or the military, because the fear of the unknown is terrifying. And Ange lived with that fear for 30 years and beat it. And I can't thank her enough for being the best partner I've ever had, because there is no way on earth I am standing up here tonight in front of all of you without her. Not a shot. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award, and it is much yours as it is mine. So thank you so very much for everything you've done and continue to do. And thank everyone here tonight for coming out and showing your support to the best job in the world. Thank you very much. God bless. And stay safe.
We have one point of our business that last year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Ms. Cheryl McCollum, has something she'd like to give to this year's Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
Like most of y'all in law enforcement, I display my challenge coins in my office. And I love it when people come by to visit, friends, families, other coworkers, and they will ask me, like, "Hey, that's a new coin," or "I've never seen one quite like that. Tell me about it." And it gives me the opportunity to brag on the greatest men and women that I've been able to work with across the country. So tonight, we're starting a new tradition at the Hall of Fame. This coin, sir, I was given by Chief Rick Glavasek from my department when I came home from being inducted. So I'm going to give you my coin. When you have a coin that really means something to you, you take that display and move some things around so you can put it in the dead center so people can see it and ask you about it. This is my coin from the Hall of Fame that I removed from the dead center, and it's empty today. And I am hoping very soon somebody comes into my office and says, "Hey, why is that coin missing?" And I'm going to be able to say, "Have a seat. Let me tell you about Tom Smith."
What an incredible career, and what a humble servant, Tom. Thank you for what you do, sir, and what you have done for this country. It's kind of winding down here, folks, and we started off the night with talking about some things. Have you seen some hope tonight? Have you seen some great things going on in law enforcement? And I would like to, before we play out this thing, I want to give a special thanks to Adam, that you've heard from a lot tonight, Davenport and Megan Stockburger, Y'all have done an incredible job. We pray that you come back to Fort Worth next year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we heard many stories tonight in law enforcement. Lots of positive stuff. And even in the wake of loss, we saw a great legacy. People rising up out of the ashes, ready to carry on great legacies like in Fort Myers. Just incredible words. And but hey, let's give a round of applause again to Adam and Megan. Let me just share a couple of things with you. And the best way to continue to support, don't let this happen tonight, is that we spread the word and we donate, we buy raffle tickets, go in there and buy raffle tickets and do some things with that. And let's make sure that we continue this to go. Let's move it forward. And also a special thanks tonight to the 2023 inductee, Tony Godwin. He's completely created the awards. He did all these awards. He's an inductee, and all the awards you saw, Tony did that. And it's great to have them in Texas as well. If you have not, thank you. If you have not had a chance, check out the booths out front and all the vendors and the sponsors that are here. And thank you for coming. I want to finish up with just a couple of things as we wrap up the evening here. And Dave Bray will be up here again, and we'll play this out. You know, as I look on this, as we come together, as we celebrate it tonight, you know, there are 4 cornerstones to this great country that we have got to protect, and police officers do it every day. But you saw each one of those cornerstones of this great country unfold before you today. And the first, when our forefathers created this wonderful country, they did this for us. They did this over 200 years ago, and we're still doing it today. You know, the first cornerstone of America was faith. They had faith in something bigger than them. And you've seen that tonight with people humbly serving and having faith that this is bigger than them. I mean, Tom's story right there alone, but all these other stories that went on, is that it is expression of faith. We had a chaplain come up and say a prayer to the Almighty and held God up first. So the first cornerstone that we always need to protect is that business of faith, that it is something bigger than us that we're working about and going to. And we heard tonight a chaplain pray to the Almighty to ask us to be blessed by Jesus Christ. They did that too. The second cornerstone that you heard tonight, and is a cornerstone, as our American founding fathers wanted people to be loyal to the country. We express that with the Pledge of Allegiance often, and we also heard the beautiful national anthem tonight. But that flag is worth something that was fighting for, that flag was worth dying for, that it stood for liberty and freedom, and they knew we had to have that cornerstone to be reminded of that. The third cornerstone, and we saw it here tonight so beautifully, family. The importance of family. And spouses out there of law enforcement, you are the greatest heroes. And let me tell you something. I believe while your loved one may have ribbons upon their chest for things that they have done, are becoming heroes, but the beauty for the reward that you will be getting is too beautiful for human eyes, and I believe it's waiting at the gates of heaven. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But that family business, that cornerstone of family, we have got to protect that. And with that said, is that I have the honor of sitting on the Tay and Chris Kyle board that is geared completely toward making sure that first responders' families are okay. And if I services, so we hear about too many divorces, too many broken homes. We have got to protect family, folks. That's a cornerstone of our success, as Tom so eloquently stated a while ago. And of course, that final one we play in every day. We are a constitutional republic. We have rule of law that create a level playing field for all Americans. And you law enforcement, stand on that wall between good and evil so that Americans can pursue happiness and they can flourish and become whatever they want to be. But I think that our mission has got to continue as we stand on the shoulders of the giants that we heard about tonight. Yesterday, I had the absolute privilege of attending the retirement of a dear friend that had an incredible law enforcement career of 53 years. And he was the chief of the UTA UTA schools all across Texas. But previous to that, he was police chief in Arlington and Scottsdale, Arizona, Burt Colonel. Incredible hero, an eloquent speaker. And when he said his goodbyes, he was speaking to the youth. He was speaking to the youth because of that gloominess of the day. And if I may quote Michael Heidingsfield when we wrapped up, he said, we've got to make it simple, folks. It is simple. And he said the key to successful law enforcement in America today is engaging in constitutional policing through character-driven police officers. When I heard that, I believe that is exactly correct and summed up everything that we saw tonight. We saw law enforcement officers with incredible character and determination. And we've got to rally behind them. And we have got to be loudmouths, as you heard Kyle say earlier. Let's grow the Hall of Fame. Let's grow it. Let's have America look at more heroes as this program grows. Let's put it in their face and demand that our law enforcement families fall into the spotlight that they deserve, and that this career field rises to the greatest nobility of any career in America. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time. I believe David is coming up again. There he is. Thank you for that song earlier. Wasn't that incredible?
All right, y'all, can you hear me in here? Oh, yeah. So listen up, we've had some heaviness in here, we've had some good times, we've had some laughs, but now we still have not finished out the night. So we're gonna do a little bit of singing here, hold on. Can I get an amen in the house? So normally when I take a stage, I got one quick question to make sure if I'm in the right place. And that question is this: do we have any Patriots in the house tonight? Sounds like you're waiting in line for the Barbie movie. Do we have any God-fearing, freedom-loving, flag-waving Patriots in the house tonight? If you want to hang out on the stage and sing a couple songs with me, I'm going to play a couple tunes for you guys, but man, I tell you what, there is nothing like coming together when a community or a community sings together. So I'm going to sing a song, and I hope that you guys are going to come up here and join in with me. If anybody wants to come up on stage and sing with me, I don't even care, man. This is y'all show as well. I'm just blessed to be a part of this National Law Enforcement Hall of Fame tonight. Blessed for Adam and Megan and everything they've done. Round of applause for all the volunteers. Y'all stay up and sing with me. Since we all things are gone, word from the light, can't start again. Just my children and mine. I can't hear y'all sing. I'm gonna keep on going. Children and mine. Thank my God above. We're here today. Cause the flags that stand so free, and they can't take that away. Y'all sound like you're ready to sing now. Yeah! Because I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I'm glad we stand up next to you and defend us still today. Cause there ain't no doubt this day. God bless the USA. Each your dad, you start to heaven. God in every American heart, it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget and die, give that right to me, and baby stand up next to you. And God bless the USA. Now listen up. I think we can all agree that Mr. Lee Greenwood wrote himself a pretty good song here. But I took the liberty of adding a few extra verses to this song because I think it's about 20-some years old and she needs a fresh coat of paint. Y'all want to hear those other verses? I said, y'all want to hear these new verses or what? All right, listen. As I look across this nation, I'm seeing broken faith and hearts, both sides being played just to tear each other apart. When we come together, take their strength away, 'cause we are still the people, and free people we shall stay. Yeah. You hear me? 'Cause I'm but at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And baby, stand up next to you and defend us till today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. Now this is the most important one. Because if we fail to pass freedom and liberty on to the next generation, then America dies on our watch. I don't know about you, but I ain't all right right now. So let's listen to this next verse and take it apart. So let's do it for the children. They can lead the way. That's American freedom, love, hope, and grace. When we stand together, we show the world each day where they see our American flag, freedom shall remain. I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. Won't forget that old time gave that right to me. And let me stand up next to you and defend us till today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. I thought this was Texas. Can I get a yeehaw? Y'all sing it on? Let's go. We're gonna get down. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the praise, to the oceans, white with foam. Country road, take me home, come on, to the place I know West Virginia, down my road, take me home, and country road, West Virginia, the mountains shake the life is holding the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Y'all ready? Sing it away! Country road, take me home to the place I know. West Virginia, take me home and country road. All my memories they gather around my next lady, swim to the water. All the streets hanging on the side. This is the moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Y'all still with me? Let's go! Country road, take me home to the place I know West Virginia. My mama, take me home that country road. I hear the voice in the morning now, she calls me. Radio reminds me of home already. Driving that little light, thinking that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country road, take me home to the place where I love West Virginia. And mama, take me home and country roads. That's all you country roads. To the take me home and country Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I'm so big you saw this.
All right, guys. Eric Levine. I am going to show. I am going to go around with the phone and try to get some people on here and hear what they have to say and see if I can get some personalized. But I appreciate everybody for logging in that did. This again was something that I didn't know how to do, and we were learning to do on the fly, and it seemed to work out pretty good. Quite a few people tuned in, and hope anything you guys learned about the National Law Enforcement Officer Hall of Fame. Be sure to check them out. Be sure to check out everybody that we talked about tonight. It was great stories, stories of heroism and stuff like that. And, just great stuff all around. So thank you again. Appreciate y'all, and have a good night.